See, every session is recorded, and once the session is completed, right, I will send the recording also. Right. So before starting the session today, let me introduce myself. I'm Lakshmana Swamy. I'm a chartered accountant and cost accountant, and I had a nearly the career experience of 35 years. I have the SAP experience of nearly 18 plus years, right? I have been working in SAP, right, since 18 years, right? Now I am working as a freelancer. I am completely retired from the job, but I have some couple of projects. I'm working as a freelancer. Then I have been into training. Once I joined SAP, right? Once I entered into SAP also, I started my training. So I had the training experience of 18 years and I had a domain experience of 17 years, right? So I worked in textile industry, then paper industry, and in some management consultancy industry also I have worked. So this is the thing regarding me, right? So I had completed nearly 500 plus batches since 18 years of my training regime, right? So in today's session, we are going to cover the introduction class. So in this introduction class, we are going to cover what is ERP, then what is SAP, then in SAP, what is SAP FICO, what is SAP FICO, why we have to learn this SAP FICO, and what are the job opportunities, and what are the career opportunities, career growth in SAP FICO. All these things we are going to discuss, right? So during the discussion, if you have any questions, right, you can unmute yourself. Beside your name, you can see one speaker symbol, right? So defaultly, that speaker is muted, defaultly. So if you want to talk to me, you can unmute yourself and you can directly talk to me, right? Otherwise, first you can raise your hand, right? There is one raise function in the Zoom meeting interface. So Amrita, you just attend this class. Listen to this class. You will understand what is SAP and all these things, okay? So if you have any questions, right, you can directly talk to me by unmuting yourself, or there is one raise function available in the Zoom meeting, right? So you can raise your hand, then I will stop and ask you, okay? So let us start the session. And I hope everybody is able to see my screen. See, SAP. SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. This is the amplification for the SAP, for the word SAP. So this SAP is called an ERP package or ERP software. So before going to understand what is this SAP, first we have to understand what is ERP. Okay, this is very, very important. ERP. ERP means Enterprise Resources Planning. ERP means Enterprise Resources Planning. Enterprise means any business organization is called enterprise, right? Then every business organization, while doing the business, they use some resources like men, materials, missions, and money. So these are called 4 M's because the name of each resource starts with M. So these are called 4 M's also. And basically, these are all natural resources. And the availability of these resources are very much limited for any business enterprise. Now, you take any business enterprise. What is the main objective? The main objective of any business enterprise is to earn maximum profits. Remember, it's not just earning the profits, earning maximum profits. So for this purpose, every business enterprise will have only 2 alternatives. Number one, in order to maximize the profits, right, we have to increase the sales. To increase the sales, we have to increase the production. Again, to increase the production, we have to increase the utilization of these 4 resources, but these are not plentifully available. As a result, the business organizations cannot go on increasing the profits beyond a certain point. So the first alternative is not compatible for our organizational objective. Then what is the second alternative? You take any business enterprise. whether large or small, whatever it is, they will have some amount of all these resources. So whatever the amount of resources they are having, they have to use them in the most effective manner. Whatever the resources they are having, they have to use them in the most effective manner. So for that, in that particular context, the concept of planning will come into existence. So they have to plan for the effective utilization of available resources of the company to maximize the profits. Simply saying, right? Enterprise resources planning means, simply saying, enterprise resources planning means planning for the effective utilization of available resources of the company to maximize the profits. Simply saying, that is the enterprise resources planning. But technically speaking, right, the ERP covers all the techniques and the concepts for the best utilization of the resources of the enterprise to maximize the profits. It covers all the techniques and concepts for the best utilization of the resources of the enterprise to maximize its profits. Then ERP is based on the integrated management of all the departments in the enterprise. So what is the integrated management of departments in the enterprise and how this integration is achieved with the help of ERP, we are going to discuss now, right? So integrated management means we have to provide the links. We have to provide the links among these departments from the software terms. That leads to integrated management of departments in the organization. Now, before going to understand how the concept of ERP helps the business enterprises, first we have to understand what are the problems faced by the companies in the non-ERP environment. See, this is the organization, right? So in every organization, we have number of departments like finance and accounts, marketing department, sales department, production planning and control department, production department, HR department, and purchase department. Like that, in every organization, we have number of departments, right? Now, all these departments has to work towards the achievement of organizational objective, that is maximization of the profits. During this process, every department will have their own goals and objectives. And the goals and objectives of the individual departments are to be synchronized with each other. Now, if you look at the finance department, the main objective is, if you take the finance and accounts department, the main objective is to generate the maximum rate of return on the investment. Here, investment means the shareholders' investment, right? So in order to maximize the return on the investment, right, this finance department has to maximize the profits, right? For that purpose, it wants to reduce the expenditure wherever it is possible. By reducing the expenditure, the finance department wants to maximize the profits. Now, you take marketing department. Its main objective is to its main objective is to create the market for the organization's products so that the demand for the organization's product is increased and sales is increased and profits are increased. So in order to create the market for the products, this marketing department always wants to conduct some advertisement activities or some sales promotion activities, which involves spending of funds. If you observe, both finance department and marketing department, both the departments are trying to maximize the profits, but the way in which the trying is different. Means the finance department is trying to maximize the profits by reducing the expenditure on one hand. On the other hand, the marketing department is also trying to maximize the profits, but by incurring some additional expenditure in the form of advertisement activities and advertisement campaigns. Even though both the departments are trying to maximize the profits, right? These departments are pulling the organization in the opposite direction. Finance department wants to reduce the expenditure. Marketing department is trying to incur some additional expenditure. Means both the departments are pulling the organization in the opposite direction. It leads to friction between finance department and marketing department. Now, let us take one more example. Normally, this production planning and control department wants to maintain minimum stock of the materials as far as possible. Here, materials means raw materials, packing materials, stores and spares, work in progress, finished goods, etc., right? So why this department wants to maintain the minimum stock of these materials? To minimize the carrying cost. So what is the carrying cost? Here, if you have to maintain inventories, we have to lock up some working capital, right? And obviously, we borrow the working capital from the bank. Even though you are doing the business with your own funds, it will have the opportunity cost of capital. So you have to pay interest to the bank on the working capital. So interest is one aspect of the carrying cost. Then we have to pay for the wages of and salaries of the people working in the warehouse, and we have to pay for the rent of the warehouse. So all these expenses coming together is called carrying cost. So in order to minimize the carrying cost, this production planning and control department wants to maintain minimum stock of the materials. But at the same time, the production department wants to have optimum stock of the materials so that their production function is not disturbed due to want of materials. Again, there exists the friction between production department and planning department. Like that, in the real-time organizations, in the non-ERP environment, there exists the friction or the disputes among all these departments. So in order to see that the organization runs so smoothly, the top management has to spend a lot of its time on bringing the coordination among these departments. But as a top management, always it has to spend its time on the performance analysis and the strategic decision-making process. But because of the fact that it has to spend its time in bringing the coordination among these departments, the top management may not have the sufficient time to concentrate on performance analysis and the strategic decision-making process. This is the biggest problem faced by the companies in the non-ERP environment. Now, let us take one more example. In order to increase the profitability of the company, every department has to perform their daily functions with much efficiency. You know, every department performs some daily functions, and these functions are to be performed by them with much effectiveness and efficiency. For that purpose, every department requires some information from the other departments. Say, for example, you take production planning and control department. Its main daily function is to prepare the production schedule. So what is the production schedule? Just to charting out a plan when to start the production, in how much quantity the production has to be produced, by which date the production has to be completed. Simply saying, this is called production schedule. In order to prepare the production schedule, this production planning and control department needs some information from the sales department. That is the date of delivery required by the customer. The date of delivery required by the customer. That means the production planning department is depending upon the sales department for the information purpose to perform its daily duty scheduling the production. Now, you take purchase department. Its main function is to procure the materials required in the production department. It may be the raw materials, packing materials, consumables, etc., etc. That means every time the purchase department has to get the information from the production department regarding what are the materials required in the production. So purchase department is depending upon production department for the performance of their daily duties. Now you take accounts department. This accounts department has to account for all the expenses and revenues which are taking place in every department. So in every department, every day, some expenses are incurred and some revenues are derived, right? Some revenues are earned. So the accounts department has to account for them. That means the accounts department is depending upon all other departments for the information of expenses and revenues. Like that, one department is depending on other departments for the information purpose. So in order to ensure that, right, these departments performs their daily functions effectively, there should be the uninterrupted flow of information among all these departments, which is not available in the non-ERP environment. Here, you may think that every department is computerized. Yes, that is true. Every department is computerized. But Each department is using different softwares manufactured by different companies. Production planning is using one software manufactured by X company. Production is using one software manufactured by Y company. Purchase is using one software manufactured by Z company. Accounts is using another software manufactured by A company. As a result, the software of one department cannot be integrated, cannot be connected with the software of other departments. As a result, every department has to wait for some time for getting information from the other departments. As a result, the length of the production cycle is increased. So what is the production cycle length? The time taken from the point of procurement of materials till you realize it, right? Just a minute. Till you see, length of the production cycle means the time taken from the point of procurement of materials till you realize the finished goods into cash resources by sale of finished goods. This is called production cycle length. This is called production cycle length. So the more you see, normally what happens, the working capital requirements depends upon the length of production cycle. The more is the length of the production cycle, the more is the length of the production cycle, the more is the working capital you require. So if you use the more working capital, you have to pay more interest to the bank. Just a minute. See, if you use the more working capital, we have to pay more interest to the bank. If you pay more interest to the bank, your profits are reduced. It is the burden on the profits. So if the length of the production cycle is more, how can you maximize the profits? This is the biggest problem faced by the companies in the non-ERA environment. Yes, Anil, I will provide the recording of every session. Okay. So this is another problem faced by the companies in the non-ERP environment. Now, let us analyze from another perspective. Whenever the materials are purchased, right, by the purchase department, that purchase invoice is entered in the purchase department once. Again, the same invoice is sent to the accounts department again, wherein it is recorded in terms of values. In the purchase department, always the purchase invoice are recorded with quantities. And the same purchase invoice again to be recorded in the books of accounts in terms of values. Means we have to post accounting entries in the books of accounts. Here, one purchase invoice is recorded 2 times. Once in the purchase department, again in the finance and accounts department. But here, we are paying the salaries to the people working in the purchase department and also to the people working in the accounts department. But both the persons are performing the same work. Means this is called duplication of work. So because of the duplication of work, we are wasting our money resources. So if you waste the money resources as an enterprise, as a business people, how can you maximize the profits? Absolutely no. Now, finally, let us take another example. See, normally the efficiency of any organization depends upon the quality of the decisions taken by the top management or middle level management, whoever responsible for taking the decisions. In order to enable this management to take the effective decisions, they should be provided with the right information in right time. Say, for example, general manager finance is there. For a particular decision-making purpose, he wants to know what is the total amount of purchases that have been made as on today, right? In that case, the purchase department will give one figure and the finance and accounts department will give another figure, right? Why? Because the purchase department is in Hyderabad and finance and accounts department is in Chennai. So all the purchase invoices received by the purchase department cannot be sent immediately to accounts department in Chennai. So the purchase department will bundle together some invoices and these invoices are sent to the accounts department once in 2 days, once in 3 days, based on their convenience. it leads to mismatching of information. So the manager finance is not provided with the right information. So the manager finance gets totally confused. What is the information that should be used for his decision-making purpose, whether the information provided by purchase department or the information provided by accounts department. What I mean to say here is the manager finance is not provided with the right information. In that case, how can he take the optimum decisions? In that case, the profits of the company cannot be optimized. Like that, there are many problems in the non-ERP environment. In this particular context, the concept of ERP has been developed. This concept of ERP is the result of information technology developments, right? As I said, every ERP is based on the integrated management of all the departments in the enterprise. So how this integration is achieved with the help of ERP? See, in the case of any ERP, there is a central database. There is a common database or central database. Without a common database, there is no concept of ERP. Okay, we are maintaining on common database. Then this central database or common database is given access to every department in the organization subject to some restrictions. Regarding the data access. So why we have to maintain the restrictions to the data access? Here, we have to provide the information to every department to the extent it is required. And at the same time, we have to ensure the security of the data of other departments. That's why we have to maintain the restrictions regarding the data access. It's a technical aspect. And one more thing is, once you start moving up in the organizational hierarchy, the extent of access given is also increased. Okay, we are maintaining the common database, and this is given access to all the departments of the organization. Now let us see how the previously discussed disadvantages are going to be eliminated. See, you take production planning and control department. So this production planning and control department requires the date of delivery required by the customer, which is available in the sales department. See, here, how this information is readily made available to the planning department, production planning department. See, whenever the salesperson gets an order from a customer, right, that salesperson will prepare one document which is called sales order. Sales order. That sales order contains information like the name of the customer, his address, his contact information, the product for which is giving the order, quantity, quality particulars, price, and the expected date of delivery required by him. So all that information is contained in the sales order, right? Then this sales order is entered into common database by the salesperson. Then the production planning clerk, who is responsible to prepare the production schedule, he will be given access to the sales order. Then he will just log on into common database. From the common database, he will identify the sales order. From the sales order, he can find out the date of delivery required by the customer, and accordingly, he will plan the production. Wherever may be your production department, wherever may be your sales department, information required by production department is readily made available. Now, you take purchase department, right? So how the information required by purchase department is readily made available to this department? See, whenever there is a requirement for any material in the production department, right? The production supervisor will prepare one document which is called material requisition, MR, material requisition. So this material requisition contains information like material details and the quantity required. Okay, then that is entered into common database by the production supervisor. Then here we have the warehouse department, right? So the warehouse clerk will just log on into common database, right? Then he will identify the material requisition. From the material requisition, he will identify the details of the materials required, and accordingly, he will issue the material. It will not lead to confusion, Anil, right? The restrictions are maintained, right? See, the core feature of any ERP is the common database. Okay. So the warehouse clerk, we just log on into common database, right? Then he will just identify the material requisition. From the material requisition, he can identify the details of the materials required, and accordingly, he will issue the material to production. This is the case when the material is available in the warehouse. Suppose if the material is not available in the warehouse, then the warehouse clerk will prepare another document which is called PR, purchase requisition. So this purchase requisition is entered into common database by the purchase clerk, warehouse clerk. Then the purchase clerk can just log on into common database. Then he will identify the purchase requisition. From the purchase requisition, right, he will understand the details of the materials required, and accordingly, the purchase clerk will start his procurement activities. That's how the information required by every department is readily made available. As a result, no department has to wait for the information. So the length of the production cycle is reduced. As a result, the amount of the working capital you require is also reduced to that extent. Then the amount of the interest you have to pay to the bank is also reduced. As a result, the profits are maximized or the profits are increased to that effect. That's how, right, the profits of the enterprise are maximized. Now let us see how the duplication of work is eliminated. In the case of non-ERP, right, when the purchase invoice entered once in the purchase department, again in the accounts department. But when you're using any ERP, the purchase clerk, we just enter the purchase invoice in the common database. Right? The purchase clerk, we just enter the purchase invoice in the common database. Then the ERP system will post accounting entries automatically in accounts department. This function I'm going to show you very practically in our training. So when the purchase department in the purchase department, the purchase invoice is entered, it will post the accounting entries automatically in the accounts department. Then where is the necessity to record the invoice again separate in accounts department? So the duplication of work is eliminated. As a result, the available human resources can be used in the effective manner, and to that extent, right, profits are maximized. Now let us see how the information requirement of General Manager Finance is met. He wants to know what is the total amount of purchases that have been made as on today. In that case, he will just log on into common database, and he can find out the total amount of purchases that have been made as on today, not as on today, as on this point of time. Because when every purchase invoice is entered into common database, the ERP system will update all the relevant figures like total amount of purchases, the inventory balance of respective raw materials, right? And the respective account balance of vendors. So all the relevant information is automatically updated. Then the respective departments can use that relevant information. So here the General Manager Finance, by just logging into common database, right, he can find out the total amount of purchases that have been made as on today. As a result, he can take optimum decisions as far as possible, and to that extent, the profits are increased. That's how the concept of ERP helps the business organizations to maximize the profits, right? Now, let us summarize the total discussion till now. How the ERP helps, right? All the data is available in the central database. These are the features of ERPs. It eliminates data redundancy. Data redundancy means data duplication. Already explained you how the data duplication is eliminated. Then data is updated and available in real time. Instantly, the data is updated. As a result, right, the most relevant data is provided to every department. Then one point entry of data means it is enough to enter the data at one point of the organization. one point of the organization means in one department of the organization. Then it will have the impact on the relevant points of the organization also. That's what I told you. When the purchase invoice entered in the purchase department, it is posting the accounting entries automatically in the books of accounts. It is updating vendor account balances, total amount of purchases, and customer, and inventory balances, etc., etc. So it is enough to enter the data at one point of the organization. And best business practices inbuilt. It is very another advantage of very important another advantage of ERP. See, all the companies have developed their ERPs after carrying on lot of research on the business practices of many famous industries. So whatever the business practices that were thought best by the ERP companies, they have incorporated those business practices in their ERP product. So when you're using that ERP product, you can also implement the same business practices in your company, and to that extent also, you can get the benefit. Then modular system. Modular system means component system. Component system means in order to manage each department, we have the separate software with the same company. For managing finance department, we have the separate software, that is module. To manage purchase department, separate module. To manage the sales department, separate module. To manage the production department, separate module. That is the meaning of modular system. Then can implement only required functions. Functions means departments. It's not necessary that we have to use the ERP in all the departments. Only the respective departments or required departments, we can use the software. For example, I want to use this ERP in the finance department, sales department, and the purchase department. That is quite possible. Other departments you need not use. Then others can be easily integrated. That means this year we have implemented this ERP in the finance department, purchase department, and the sales department, right? So after using this ERP for 2 years, the management has been very much satisfied with the results they have got. Then from third year onwards, they want to use the ERP, the same ERP in other departments, like production department, HR department. That we can start implementing again after 3 years in the production department and HR department. And these two modules can be easily integrated with the modules already implemented. Then managers can utilize their time in analysis and spend less time in the coordination effort. This is the very important advantage of any ERP, right? So these are the advantages of ERP. So SAP is such an ERP product. Along with SAP, we have the hundreds of other ERP products available in the market. Like Oracle we have, BAN we have, PeopleSoft we have, Ramco we have, Microsoft Dynamics we have. Like that, we have the hundreds of ERP products. Then why SAP? Why you have to learn SAP? Right? I will tell you. Here, other ERP products are specialized in 1 or 2 departments management. All the other ERP products are specialized in the management of 1 or 2 departments. For example, if you take Oracle, it is specialized in the management of finance department or finance function. Then BAN is specialized in the management of your production department or production function. PeopleSoft is famous or specialized in the management of your HR department. But if you take SAP, right, it provides the solutions for the management, for the effective management of every department in the organization, for the management of every department in the organization, and the level of integration you can achieve with the help of SAP is very high when compared to other ERP products. Again, I'm repeating. SAP provides the effective solutions for the management of every department in the organization, and the level of integration among the departments you can achieve is uncomparable with other ERP products. Because of these 2 reasons, SAP is the world #1 ERP product. As of now, right? SAP is enjoying nearly 46% of the international market share. And the remaining 54% is enjoyed by all other ERP products together, right? Hundreds of ERP products together. That's why we have the very good employment opportunities only in case of SAP. That's why we have to learn SAP from the job perspectives, right? So SAP is a ERP product. Now let us go to the first slide. Here, SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. What do you mean by that? No, it's not a Salesforce. Salesforce is not a competition, right? It's another ERP. And Oracle is also not competition. It's an ERP, right? You have the number of ERP products in the market, right? Salesforce is also one of them. But based on the market share only, we decide, right, which ERP we have the very good opportunities for the jobs. And ultimately, right, what's our goal? To get the job, right? So whoever ERP is having the more market share, there only we get the jobs immediately, right? That's why, that's the thing. Now, coming to this SAP. See, SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. What do you mean by this? See, first you have to understand data processing. In the data processing, what is data? Data means it is the collection of facts and figures. Data means it is the collection of facts and figures, right? Say, for example, this is March 2024. Okay. In the February 2024, your total production is 100,000 number of units, 1 lakh number of units. Then your number of workers are 100. This is data. That's it. These are technically called data elements, right? This is the data. Now, the production manager, he wants to analyze the performance of the worker in the month of February. He wants to know how each worker has performed in the previous month, right? For that, this data does not give any clue to him. Your total output is 1 lakh units. Total number of workers are 100. So what? What I mean to say here is, are you able to arrive any conclusion with this raw data? No. So we have to process the data. Processing means what? Executing the set of operations on the data elements. Here, set of operations means it may be arithmetic operations or algebraic operations, and sometimes just to rearrangement of the data elements in the database is also called processing. For example, I am performing a small division operation between these two data elements. I am dividing total output with the number of workers, right? The result is 1000 units per worker. The result is 1000 units per worker. That means on an average, each worker has produced 1000 units in the previous month. This is called actual productivity or average production. This is called information. What is the information now? In the month of February, the actual productivity is 1000 units. This is the information. That means information is the result of data processing. Information is the result of data processing, right? Now, how this information is useful to the production manager to analyze his performance of the worker? In the real-time organizations, for every performance indicators, there will be targets. There will be standards, right? For example, in the February 2024, standard average production is 1300 units. Means on an average, every worker has to produce 1300 units. But actually, how much they have produced? 1000 units. So there is nearly 30% below the targeted performance, right? So we perform ineffectively. Then what are the reasons for inefficiency? The reasons are analyzed by the management. Say, for example, during the analysis, the management found one reason that in the production process, we have used the raw materials of inferior quality. As a result, there were frequent breakdowns in the manufacturing process. So we had to reset up the process. In that way, we have lost some time. That is the reason why there was a drastic fall in the production. In that case, if that is the reason for the fall in the production, right, the management has to take the disciplinary action either against the people in the purchase department or against the people in the quality department. Why these people procured inferior materials? What are the reasons behind that? They are trying to resort to any fraud like that. That's how they analyze that. They ask the explanations from the responsible people, either from the purchase department or from the quality department. Okay. Let us assume that there is no any issue regarding the quality of the materials. Another reason they found is some of the skilled workers have left your company in the month of February 2024. Obviously, if the skilled labor leave the company, normally the production will come down. And the management has been noticing this trend since 3 months. Every month, some of the workers are leaving your company. In that case, right, the management has to analyze its labor policies, employee policies. Why the people are leaving my organization? What is the problem with the employees here? How to retain the people? Whether we have to increase the fringe benefits to the employees or whether we have to improve the working conditions in the company. What I mean to say here is just one piece of information, right, is giving how many number of avenues to the management to analyze its performance. That is the power of information, right? And the information is the result of data processing. Information is the result of data processing, right? Then SAP stands for systems, means some hardware requirements and also management information systems. Then applications. Applications means software products, right? Then some other products in the data processing. That means SAP refers to some hardware requirements, some softwares, and some other products which can be used by the organizations in their data processing needs to arrive meaningful information which is necessary for them to analyze the performance and also for taking the strategic decisions. That is actual meaning of SAP. Systems, applications, and products in data processing. Right? This is the real meaning of SAP. So this SAP is a ERP product, right? Then this SAP has developed by, the SAP has been developed by a company called SAP.eg. SAP.eg, right? So it was established in 1972 and it is a German company, right? And its headquarters are at Waldorf, Germany. This is the brief history of SAP company, right? Now, till now, any questions from anybody? Before going further, if you have any questions, right, just raise your hands. I will explain, then I will go further. Okay. Now, let us see the brief history of SAP product development. Evaluation of the product SAP. In 1972, SAP company has developed a product known as SAP R1 suite. In 1980s, SAP has developed a product known as SAP R2 suite. In 1990s, SAP has developed a product known as SAP R3 suite. And this is the product what we are using now, right? And of course, many of you have heard about S/4HANA also, right? So what is that S/4HANA also? I will explain you. It's not necessary to learn Salesforce. Anil is asking one question. Do we also need to learn Salesforce in addition to SAP? No, it's not at all necessary. See, what is S/4HANA? That also will explain you, right, by the end of the session. So this is the name of the product what we are using, SAP R3 Suite, right? And the current version of this SAP R3 Suite is ECC 6.0. ECC 6.0. ECC stands for ERP Central Component. In the ECC 6.0, right, EHP 8. EHP means enhancement package, right? On this version only, I'm going to provide you the training, right? Now, coming to this SAP R3. What is the meaning of SAP R3 Suite, right? You know the meaning of SAP now, right? Very much, very clear. The suite means it is the combination of some objects, right? Dictionary meaning of suite is the combination of some objects, right? So here, SAP is the combination of some softwares. That's why the SAP company has used the word suite in the name of its product. Now, R3, it is very, very important, right? It conveys the total structure of the software. Here, R stands for real-time data processing. R stands for real-time data processing. Real-time data processing means when you perform an operation, the data elements, the related database is instantly updated. Instantly implies something faster than immediate. Whenever you perform an operation on the data elements, the related database is instantly updated. For example, you take bank ATMs. When you draw money from the bank ATM, right, you will get back your updated statement immediately, right? Suppose if you draw 5,000, within the time you count to 5,000, check. You will be getting back your updated statement immediately, right? How? It's working on the principles of real-time data processing. When you draw money 5,000, your bank account balance is instantly updated and it is giving back your statement. Your railway reservation systems, your flight reservation systems, right? For that matter, every facility you are enjoying in your daily life is the result of real-time data processing concept only. So SAP also uses the same real-time data processing concept. That is why when the purchase invoice is entered in the purchase department in the common database, it is updating inventory account balances, raw material inventory account balances and vendor account balance also. That is the result of real-time data processing. So SAP also uses the same real-time data processing. That's why SAP has incorporated the letter R in the name of its product. Of course, not only SAP, right? Normally, every ERP company tries to incorporate the letter R wherever it is possible in the name of its product. Now, coming to 3. 3 stands for 3-tier architecture. It refers to the levels of hardware setup you require to work with SAP software. Here, not only SAP, every ERP, they use the client-to-server technology. They use the client-to-server technology. Client-to-server technology means what? There will be some servers, there will be some clients. Servers and clients, both are hardware systems, hardware computer systems only. Servers and clients, they are both hardware computer systems only. But servers are with large storage capacity and the clients are with a small storage capacity. And normally servers and clients are both are interconnected. So in the case of 3-tier architecture, we have the 3 types of servers. Number 1, database server or database server layer. Application server or application server layer. Number 3, client or presentation server layer. What do you mean by this? First one is database server. Database server means it is the computer system in which the database is hosted. What does the database contain here? The business transactions incurred and entered into the database. So when you have the database, there comes the question of database management. So who is responsible to manage the database? As a SAP professionals, we are not in any way responsible for the database management. There are separate professionals like database managers or database administrators. They will look after, they will manage the database. And this database is managed on the principles of RDBMS. Relational RDBMS means relational database management systems. Relational database management systems. So in the IT market, right, there are number of RDBMS tools available in the market, like Oracle, SQL Server, right? Microsoft, it's okay. Many RDBMS tools are there. Informix, like that. Many RDBMS tools are available in the market. Based on the IT budget of the client company, right? They can go for any of the RDBMS tool, right? But in most of the cases, right, we use Oracle database, right? And after that, Microsoft SQL Server. After that, so these are the two very famous RDBMS tools used by the companies, right? Others, their will and wish. That is the thing regarding database server. Then coming to application server. Application server means, again, it is the computer system in which SAP software is hosted. SAP software itself is an application, right? So in the application server means it's a computer system wherein the SAP application is hosted. The SAP application contains the programming code or the programming logic, which is necessary to process the business transactions. I'm coming, see, for the time being, right, for SAP ECC, we are using Oracle. In most of the cases, we use the Oracle. Even the SAP company also recommends its clients, right, to use Oracle only in the case of ECC product, right? ECC 6.0 EHP 8 product. But in the case of S/4HANA, I will come to that point. First, you have to understand this point, then you can understand HANA. Now, coming to this application server, it is the computer system, right, in which the SAP software is hosted. The SAP software contains the programming logic or the programming code, which is necessary to process the business transactions. Here, the database server is connected to some number of application servers. Some number of application servers, like application server 1, application server 2, application server 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. Why? Why we have to multiple application servers? Because if you have only one application server, right, the business transactions of all the departments are to be processed by only one application server. Then what happens? The load on that particular server will be very high. As a result, again, it will take more processing time. Again, you are wasting your time. That's why we have to have some number of, optimum number of application servers. Who will decide how many number of application servers should be there? The technical IT department, the technical wing of the IT department, they will decide. They will take care of all these things. Then coming to third level, client or presentation server. Client means the computer systems used by the employees to enter the business transactions, to generate the reports, to analyze the reports, etc., etc. These clients may include desktops, laptops, right? Nowadays, in the case of S/4HANA, even the tabs and the mobiles also can be used to process your business transactions, right? That is possible only in S/4HANA. See, here, this is one layer, right? Database is one layer. Application is another layer, right? And all the client systems used by the employees together is another layer. That's why this is called three-tier architecture, right? Now, coming to this, and one more advantage of this three-tier architecture is we can increase or decrease the size of any layer without disturbing the size of other layers, right? See, here it will take another 15 minutes because I have to complete the introduction at a stretch, right? It takes another 15 minutes. Please bear with me. So coming to Art 2. It's okay. This three-tier architecture I have presented in the more refined manner. These are all the laptops or desktops used by the employees, right? And all these client systems are connected to some number of application servers. And all the application servers are connected to database server. And this database server is managed on RDBMS tools, RDBMS systems, right? This is the 3-tier architecture. Coming to 2-tier architecture. R2 means, R by 2 means 2-tier architecture. In the case of 2-tier architecture, in the same system, we manage the database and SAP application also. So 2 layers are existing in the same hardware system. That is one layer. And all the clients or all the laptops and desktops used by the employees together is called client system, right? Client server layer. One layer, second layer. I will give you the real example for the 2-tier architecture, right? Here, I am maintaining the SAP server here. In this SAP server, we have installed Oracle database. We have installed Oracle database and SAP software. Now, all of you are joining the class from different parts of the country or world. Now, every one of you will be given access to the server to do the practice every day. So for that, you need to install one small program in your laptops, right? Now, through your laptop, you will access the server in Hyderabad. So in Hyderabad, one server is there, wherein database is there and SAP application is there. That is this layer, right? And all your systems together is client layer, 2-tier architecture. Web development is different issue. We will come to that point, Anil, right? You can access through web also. That's a different issue. Nowadays, right? Yeah, web is also there, like cloud and all these things. So let me discuss. Those also we'll discuss eventually during the training. So this is the meaning of R2 architecture, right? R1. R1 means single type. Nowadays, we are not at all using R1 or R2, right? We are using only R3. So in the case of R1, the database, SAP application, and also SAP client program, all are hosted in the same standalone computer system. That is R1, right? This is the technical history of description of this SAP product, right? Now, the product what we are using is SAP R3. SAP has developed SAP company has nearly 60 plus products. Out of all these 60 plus products, SAP R3 product is very, very famous product, and majority of the revenue of SAP company is contributed by this product only. So in this SAP R3 product, basically we have 2 types of modules: functional modules, technical modules, right? Sure. So under the functional modules, we have financial accounting and controlling, which is simply called FICO. Then we have the materials management, simply called sales and distribution, SD, human resources management, HR, quality management, QM, plant maintenance, PM, project systems, PS, then production planning and control, PPC or PP, right? Real estate management, REM, workflow, WF, then FSCM, financial supply chain management, etc., etc. Like that, on the functional side, there are nearly 24 modules are there. Why they are called functional modules? Here, each module itself is a fully developed software, and each module is used to manage one department in the company. So department is nothing but function of the company, right? Finance is a function, HR is a function, purchase is a function, sales is a function, right? In order to manage these functions, we have the departments. That's why these softwares are used to manage the departments. That's why they are called functional modules, nothing else. So the finance, accounting, and controlling, FICO, is used to manage your finance and costing department. Materials management is used to manage your purchase department. sales and distribution module is used to manage our sales department and so on. And all these are fully developed softwares. You need not write any single line of programming here. These are all fully developed softwares. And each software is used to manage one department in the company. Now, listen to me carefully. See, these softwares are fully developed and each software, right, is used to manage one department in the company. And all these softwares are manufactured by same SAP company. As a result, one software can be integrated with other softwares easily. Previously, the softwares used by the departments are manufactured by different companies. So integration was difficult and sometimes impossible, right? But here, all these softwares are manufactured by the same SAP company, right? So you can easily integrate them. That is the difference between ERP and non-ERP, right? So these are all fully developed softwares. Softwares means there should be a language in which all these softwares have been developed, right? That language is ABAP. So ABAP is the own programming language of SAP company. ABAP stands for Advanced Business Application Programming Language. Another technical module is BASIS, which stands for Business Application Software Integrated Systems. Just for your understanding purpose, right? BASIS is just like a operating system of SAP company. In order to use all these modules, we have to install the BASIS operating system in the client company. Now, if you learn any of these are called technical modules. If you learn any technical module, you will get a job as technical consultant. If you learn any functional module, you will get a job as functional consultant. More particularly, if you learn ABAP, you will get a job as ABAP consultant. If you learn BASIS, BASIS consultant. If you learn FICO, FICO consultant. MM consultant. SD consultant, so on. Now, if you want to learn ABAP, we have to have the programming knowledge. Minimum to minimum, C++, we have to have the knowledge of C++. And to learn BASIS, we have to have the operating systems knowledge and also networking knowledge. But to learn any of the functional modules, right? No technical knowledge is required. No programming language is required. Only the thing is, you have to understand the basic concepts of respective subjects and also the working knowledge in the respective departments. Right? See, if you learn FICO, you get a job as FICO consultant. If you learn MM consultant. Who is consultant? As a FICO consultant, what you have to do, right? Here, just another 15 minutes, please. You take any ERP, right? There are basically two roles. Number one, consultant. Okay, first let us take end user. End user. Number two, consultant, right? See, you take any ERP. Basically, there are two types of roles, end user role and consultant role. End user means what? The employees of the company, which is using SAP software, are called end users. For example, right? For example, we have Tata Steel Limited. We have Tata Steel Limited, right? Sure, Amrita, I will share it. We have the Tata Steel Limited, okay? So, all the employees of the Tata Steel Limited is really using SAP. Remember, you name the big company or medium-sized company in the world, they use SAP only, right? See, all the employees of the Tata Steel Limited are called end users, right? So, in Tata Steel Limited, I'm an accountant. Right? So, I'm an end user. The accounts officer, end user. Manager finance, end user. senior manager finance, end user. So all the employees in all the departments of the company, company are called end users. Now, in the Tata Steel Limited, I'm an accountant. So as an accountant, every day I have to perform some functions like what? I have to post the business transactions. I have to generate the reports, right? And I have to analyze the reports. Based on the analysis, I have to prepare some more reports. Then these reports I have to submit to my manager finance. This is called end user job. This is my accountant job, right? Now I have to perform this job on SAP software. So in order to enable me to perform my daily functions, already some settings should have been developed by another professional in the FICO software. That professional is called consultant. So unless the consultant, right? Unless that consultant develops the settings in the FICO software, the employees of the finance and accounts department cannot use the software. Cannot use the software, right? So you get a job as FICO consultant. So this is called technically configuration and customization. So the job of the consultant is to customize and configure the SAP software according to the requirements of respective departments in the company. So in our training, we are going to cover both the consultant training and also end user training. Right? So our module is FICO module. So what is there in FICO? FICO is the very highly paid module, right? Of all the SAP modules, FICO consultants are very highly paid, and also the demand is very high for the FICO consultants when compared to other modules consultant, right? So FICO is basically combination of two modules. FICO stands for finance, accounting, and controlling. FI means finance accounting. FI means finance accounting. Then this finance accounting module is used to prepare the financial statements according to the legal provisions of the respective countries. Suppose if you take India, right? We have the Indian Companies Act 2013, right? So all the companies which are registered under the Indian Companies Act, they have to prepare the financial statements according to the legal requirements of this Indian Companies Act 2013. For that purpose, we need to maintain the books of accounts in compliance with the legal provisions. So how to maintain those books of accounts according to legal provisions? That is covered in finance accounting module. And we have to prepare the financial statements like profit and loss account, balance sheet, funds flow statement, and cash flow statement according to the legal requirements of the Indian Companies Act 2013 in India. Like that, every country will have its own legal enactments, right? So the companies in those countries have to prepare the financial statements according to the legal requirements of the respective countries. For that, we do the settings as a FICO consultant. We develop the settings in the FI software. So these are called legal financial statements, and it is called external reporting tool, because the financial statements are to be submitted to, right, register of companies, income tax authorities, GST authorities, banks. If you have taken only working capital loans or term loans, we have to submit the financial statements to banks and also SEBI, Stock Exchange Board of India. So these, to all these legal entities, we have to submit our financial statements. That's why this is FI is called external reporting tool. Now, in order to learn financial accounting, what is the level of accounting knowledge you have to have? Don't think I'm exaggerating. I'm telling you the fact. To learn FI, right, to understand FI, you need only basic knowledge of accounting principles. That's it. What are the basic principles of accounting? If you know how to post accounting entries, that itself is enough. You know that there are three types of accounts: personal accounts, real accounts, and nominal accounts. So what is to be debited and credited according to personal accounts, real accounts, and nominal accounts, that itself is enough. Right? Everything else is taken care by the system. Even the balance sheet and trial balance are generated by the SAP software within minutes. right? So if you are from non-accounting background also, you can learn the SAP FICO easily, right? So for the non-accounting background people, right, I prepared some material on accounting principles, right? From 60 pages of material will be there. It takes only 2-3 days to go through that material and you can gain the basic understanding of accounting knowledge. And even if you're from accounting background also, I will send this accounting material to all of you, right? You can refresh it. If you're from accounting background already, you can refresh it. If you're from non-accounting background, you can gain the knowledge of accounting principle within 2 days with the help of that accounting notes, right? Again, in the financial accounting, right, you have submodules like number 1, general ledger accounting, which is called new general ledger accounting. We cover new general ledger accounting also. Then we have accounts payable, which is used to manage your supplier accounts. Then we have account receivable, right, which is used to manage your customer accounts. Asset accounting, fixed assets. Then treasury management. In the actually, treasury management is a separate module like FICO, MMSD, right? But in treasury management, there is one topic, cash journal. That cash journal only we are going to cover in FI because that is very much related to FI. Then in every submodule, there are a number of topics, right? So it is not right time to discuss all those topics here because you don't know anything. So you can, in the initial introduction mail, I sent one email to all of you, right? There I have given the content, link for the content, right? You can see the content in my website, www.lakshmanaswamy.com, right? And this is my email ID, right? And also this is my mobile number, okay? So you can refer to the content. Yes. I will already, Manoj, I have already sent you an email. No, in that email, I have given the link for the content, right? You can check the content in my website, which runs into 13 pages. So we are going to cover very elaborately, right? Then after these 5 modules, I am going to show you how to prepare the P&L account and balance sheet. I am going to show you the realistic P&L account and balance sheet, that is financial statements. That will be the end of FI. Then we'll come to controlling. Controlling is nothing but cost account. It is also called management accounting also. See, it is used to provide the information to the management for the performance analysis and strategic decision-making purpose. See here, yeah. You have to give me the email and you can add me on WhatsApp, okay? I have the WhatsApp on the same number. It is my email ID and also this is my WhatsApp number, right? See, controlling is nothing but your cost accounting, right? See, what the main purpose of the controlling or cost accounting is to provide the information for the middle level management and also for the top level management, which is necessary for them for the performance analysis and the strategic decision-making process. In order to learn controlling, what is the level of knowledge you have to have? Here also we need very basic understanding of cost accounting. Like what is the basic understanding of cost accounting? You take the cost of any product. You take the cost of any product. It contains 3 components. Material cost. Number 2, labor cost. Number 3, other expenses, right? So again, material cost is divided into direct material, indirect material, right? Labor cost is divided into direct labor, indirect labor. Then other expenses are divided into direct expenses and indirect expenses. Then if you know what is direct material cost, indirect material cost, direct labor cost, indirect labor cost, direct expense and indirect expenses, that's enough. But unfortunately, what happens in the learning community is most of us have touched cost accounting also in our studies, either BCom, MCom, etc. But we did not pay much attention to cost accounting. So normally it is quite natural that every learner might have forgotten the cost accounting principles, except you are a chartered accountant and cost accountant. That's why what I do is After FI and before starting controlling, right, I will take some extra classes on the cost accounting principles. I'm going to explain you the cost accounting principles which are necessary for you to understand controlling. Because if you specialize in controlling, you are ultimate. And the competition for you is also very, very less. Right? So in the training market, there are very, 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 very few trainers, right, who can explain the controlling. Most of the training institutes, right, they cover controlling only in 1 week, maximum 10 days, 10 hours. But that's not like that. In our training class, right, our training duration is 4 months. 2 months for FI, 2 months for CO. I'm going to explain you the controlling also very in-depth, because by qualification itself, I'm a chartered accountant and cost accountant, right? And I worked in the paper industry and spinning industry also. So with the help of that knowledge, right, I'm going to explain you the controlling process also very clearly, and not clearly, with a very easy manner, that you will going to experience that. Again, in the cost accounting or controlling, right, we have the submodules. We have the submodules like cost element accounting, cost center accounting, internal order accounting, profitability analysis, profit center accounting, and product costing. So within each submodule, there are a number of other topics. And these topics also we are going to cover. Right? After this, okay, we cover other topics. Integration of financial accounting with the metals management. In the beginning of the introduction class, I told you now, when the purchase invoice is entered in the purchase department, the accounts department, the ERP system, will post the accounting entries automatically in the books of accounts. For that, we need to do some common settings in the FI module and also MM module. This is called integration of financial accounting with the metals management. We are going to cover this. I will show you clearly, right? I will show you practically. Then integration of financial accounting with the sales and distribution. And also, of course, we cover integration of PP, production planning, with the controlling. Okay. These three integrations we are going to cover. Then I also show you closing procedures, how to prepare the financial statements at the end of the financial year. Then how to carry forward the current year balances to next year. In SAP, after preparing the financial statements, we have to perform number of activities in the current fiscal year and also in the coming fiscal year. So all these are covered under closing procedures, right? Then I am going to give you some tips on ABAP and basis. In the real time, every functional consultant, our module is FICO. Every FICO consultant has to interact with the ABAP consultants and basis consultants. Our job is not stand alone, right? You have to work in a group. So we have to interact with ABAP consultants and basis consultants. For that purpose, I'm going to give you some techniques, right? The knowledge of some techniques in ABAP and basis also, right? Very, very small amount of knowledge in the ABAP and basis also. Okay. So what is the methodology of the training? I will explain each concept, right? I will explain step-by-step configuration. I will explain posting of transactions. Then I will explain reports. Then in every session, we have the answers and questions on the respective topics. Okay. And every session is a practical session and theoretical session, right? Everything I will be showing you, right, online, live, right, in the server itself. Then, what are the materials I'm going to provide you? I will show you now. I will provide the step-by-step configuration material, step-by-step transaction processing material, step-by-step report generation material. Then at the end of the training, I will send you the interview questions and also certification questions and answers, right? See, Just another 10 minutes. Please bear with me. I told you every session is a practical session, theoretical session. So this is the FI material. This material I will be sending to you, right? You have to take the printout of this material and you have to get it spiral bound and you have to keep it in every class. For example, as far as configuration is concerned, first you have to map the enterprise structure of your client company. Suppose Tata Steels has purchased the SAP software. Now you are going to develop the configuration settings in the FI software for Tata Steels company, right? Then you have to map the enterprise structure of Tata Steels with SAP software. So what is enterprise structure? I will help you with the help of the presentations, right? What is company? What is company code? Then what is business areas? I will explain you with the help of the presentations, right? PPTs. Then that explanation is documented here. Suppose company is there. What is company in SAP? First I will explain with the presentation. Then I documented this like this. Company represents the group in SAP. It can contain up to 6 characters. It is alphanumeric. At the company level, we can prepare consolidated financial statements. The definition of company is optional. A company can have any number of company codes. Of course, what is company codes? Why company is optional? I will explain to you. So first I will explain every concept with the help of the presentation. Then that explanation is documented here. For example, company is there. I explained company. Then how to create company in the software? So we have to log on into SAP server. Server X is also provided by me. I will send you all this, right, materials to your email IDs, right? It's only an introduction class. Okay. You are not registered, no. So from tomorrow itself, regular training classes will start. Okay, let me explain this. Every class is a practical class. So first I will explain what is company with the help of this presentation. And the explanation is documented here. Now you have to create the company. See, creation of company. So first you have to log in into SAP server. I will give the access to SAP server itself, right? How to log on to SAP servers and all these things, we will discuss in tomorrow's class. And what this screen also, all these things I will explain in tomorrow's class. Here I'm just showing you how do we proceed in the classes. So select the server, click on log on. See, user IDs, passwords, all these things I will explain you tomorrow. So in order to create the company, we have to access some screens in SAP. For that, I have given the path, SPRO. Then after SPRO, we have enterprise structure. We have enterprise structure, right? After enterprise structure, we have definition. This is enterprise structure, right? You click on this. All these things I'll explain tomorrow. What are all these things called? Definition, right? After definition, we have financial accounting. Click on this. After financial accounting, define company. This is define company, right? Click on this. After define company, click on new entries, right? This is new entries. So in order to create a company, in these fields, we have to provide some information. And all these fields also I have printed in your material, right? So you have to take the printout of this material. You have to keep it with you in every class. And I'll be telling you some 3-4 characters. And those 3-4 characters you have to write against each field here. Then define company code. So what is company code? First I will explain, right? Then that explanation is documented here. Then how to create company code, right? I have given the configuration settings here. So what is path and what is key code? This I will explain you in tomorrow's class. Here I'm just showing you how do we proceed in the class, right? This FI material contains 227 pages. Still you will be getting some other materials, right? Then once we complete, see, we have the general ledger accounting, right? General ledger accounting. Okay. So everything I will explain with the help of the presentations. Everything is documented here. And I'm very proud to say that this material is very, very useful for you to prepare yourself for the interviews. 60 to 70% interview questions will be coming from our materials only, right? So after general ledger accounting, we have accounts payable. We have the accounts payable. The accounts payable, right? So after accounts payable, we have account receivables. This is the account receivables. After account receivables, we have asset accounting. Asset accounting, right? So after asset accounting, yes, this material also is useful for SAP certification also, right? And of course, along with this, I will send you the certification material also. And we have the classes from Monday to Friday, Bivash. So after asset accounting, right? Financial statement version means the preparation of financial statements, right? Then we have the controlling material. So all these materials I will be sending to you. See what is the purpose of controlling, what is the data flow into controlling, right? Again, so what is the enterprise structure? I'm sorry, what is the controlling enterprise structure? All these things I will explain you and show you in the system, right? After this, we have the cost element accounting. We have the cost element accounting, right? Then we have internal orders, cost centers, right? After cost center accounting, I'll come to your questions. Internal order accounting, right? After internal order accounting, we have profit center accounting. Profit center accounting. After profit center accounting, we have profitability analysis. After this profitability analysis, see integration of FI with MM, right? This is integration of FI with MM. As a part of that, we are also going to cover some concepts in metals management also, right? This is integration of FI with MM. Then we have the integration of FI with SD. So like that, I have sent this I will send this material to every one of you. And also we cover very in-depth product costing, right? And at the end of the training sessions, I will send you the interview questions, right? And I will send you the certification materials. And also I will send you some sample resumes. That means I will help you in the preparation of your resumes also, right? See, Manoj, from the day when Manoj is asking one question, right? After completion of this course, we'll get the real-time project from the day one itself is a project, right? I will take you throughout the total accounting process very logically in the system, right? So every day you have to do the practice on the project only. Whatever the things we are going to create in the real-time implementation projects, I am going to show you minimum to minimum 75 to 80% of all the real-time project activities we are going to cover in our classes. And you can do any number of projects you want. How to do that? How to do that, I will explain you. Okay, Manos?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, Savit is asking one question. Every business using same business model of SAP or different? No. See, in SAP, the configuration is same. Whatever may be the client, right? Baseline configuration is same. But from business to business, based on the nature of the business, right? The configuration settings will be different. We are going to cover these things in the classes, right? And we have the classes Monday to Friday. Now, every day you have to use the same link, right? For today only I have taken some extra time, right? But every day exactly 1 hour, 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Indian time, morning, right? Just plus or minus 5 minutes, nothing else, right? Every day, Monday to Friday. You can use the same link. Yeah, I will give the completion certificate also. And also I will explain you, right, how to apply for the SAP certification Germany. If you want to apply for the SAP certification, how to do that, where you have to apply, right? All these things I will help you. I will show you in the classes where you have to apply and all these things. You can apply by yourself. So every day you have to use the same link, okay? And try to log in by exactly 7:30. Okay, of course, we wait for another 5 minutes or 10 minutes also. Right? And if you have any questions. And one more thing is, while doing the practice, right, you may get some doubts or you may get some errors, right? In that case, I have shown you my number, right? Then you can add me my number on WhatsApp, right? On WhatsApp, I'll be in touch with every student, right? And immediately your doubts will be cleared through WhatsApp, right? So if you get any errors or doubts, you can post on the WhatsApp, right? So immediately I will respond. After 1 week or 10 days, once the batch is finished, I create one a WhatsApp group with all the students of this batch, right? Then you can do the discussions on the WhatsApp group, and also your questions also can be posted on the WhatsApp group. And I will give the solutions in the WhatsApp group only, so that other students also will get the benefit from the doubts of other students, right? I have been in this training since 18 plus years, right? So I know how to see, having the knowledge is different from teaching, right? So many people may have the knowledge, right? But the way of delivering the knowledge is very, very important to be successful in teaching, right? So I have the both. I'm very proud to say I have both. I have the knowledge. It's not that I'm exaggerating myself, right? I have the knowledge, and also I know how to deliver the things to the students from their shoes, right? So I will keep myself in your shoes. Then I will explain, right? So you can attend 3-4 classes, right? No issues, right? You can attend 3-4 classes free. Then only you can decide. And every day you can use the same. After 3-4 classes, Savita, it's not necessary now. I will tell you when you have to pay the fees. Any questions from anybody? First, raise your hands. I'll be coming one by one. Otherwise, you can unmute yourself and you can directly talk to me. And I'm available on my WhatsApp morning 5 o'clock to evening 10. I'm always available on WhatsApp. Yeah, we cover, Manoj. We cover both end user training and consultant training. We cover both. Yeah, Amrut.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I am using a SAP end user. So I want to shift to as a consultant, PP consultant. So I will see all.
Do one thing, call me after the class, right?
Okay.
Call me after the class. Okay, I will explain you how to, because you are a PP, right? Not FSCO. Okay. So I will explain you how to do that. Okay. Please call me after the class. Any questions from anybody? And please share save this email, right? Because every day you have to use the same link. Okay, then. I hope everything is clear to all of you. Good night and good day. See you tomorrow same time, 7:30 a.m. Indian time. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.